The June 2022 newsletter. Yes, if you can believe it, the month is now June. Crazy. I hope May 2022 was a good 31 days for you. Me, a lot of unfound stuff occurred that I will be passing along to you in this newsletter. But on the personal side, Dad was here for 5 days. He said he was going to be here for a month, but he was only here for 5 days. Dad said he was going to do all sorts of cool things while he was here, but he was only here for 5 days. And really, I can't blame him for only staying for 5 days. Florida really isn't his thing. All of his friends are in Pennsylvania. He knows no one here will hang out with him. He hates the traffic. Yada, yada, yada. I think he also gets unrealistic expectations about how much free time I have, which is none. I'm still a working man. He is not. That's just the way it is. Disc golf? I'm glad you asked. I got another win in May. Crazy. That is number 3 this year. Once again, crazy, yet I won't be playing in another PDGA-rated event until Worlds in Illinois in July. Which is fine. I have high expectations for that tournament, though. I'm good. I feel great. I look great. My hair is fabulous. And summer is here. Okay, let's get started where we usually do. Upcoming episodes. June 3rd, Mary Watkins. June 10th, Bradley Strassner. Other disappearances Unfound is working on. Justin Gaines, Billy Bragg and Ralph Belvedere, Daniel Scott, Diana Alejandre, Jackie Cooper, Bonnie Hutton, and daughter. Now, the news. The live show. This is probably the biggest news happening with Unfound, and probably the biggest news happening for a long time. And that is saying something given other items I will tell you about before this newsletter is done. The live show started in 2017, originally, but for only a very short time. It played on Tuesdays. Then for over the past 4 years, it has come to all of you on Wednesdays at 9 p.m. Eastern. Of course, once in a while, due to things out of my control, I moved it to a Thursday. And there may have been a week in late November 2018 when my mother died that there was no live show at all. Meaning the live show has become an integral part of the entire Unfound brand. It's one of a kind. I really enjoy hosting it. I love interacting with all of you. I love your questions, your comments, and some of you even talk amongst yourselves in the chat room while I'm talking about whatever news stories I've decided to talk about. I love it. All of it. However, a promise I made to myself at the beginning of 2022 was that I would take a look at everything Unfound is doing and try to figure out how to trim the fat. There are only so many hours in a day, days in a week, weeks in a month, yada, yada, yada. That's twice in one newsletter. And as much as my assistants can be given some tasks here and there, Unfound continues to be 90% a one-man operation. So I have to figure out how to wisely spend my time. Of course, the episodes are number 1. Without them, nothing else exists. No live show, no newsletter, no YouTube channel, nothing. So the Friday podcast always gets attention first. Interviewing, recording, conversing with future guests, and marketing the podcast always take precedent over everything, including anything in my personal life. Always. After the podcast, and this started to occur in 2021, I had to take a look at how I wanted to spend my time when there was nothing with the podcast that needed to be done. What I came to decide is that, for example, the books, whether I was doing them or I was overseeing someone doing them, was not an efficient process. When I made them myself back in 2017 into 2018, I quickly became burned out and the entire Unfound conglomerate came close to collapsing. That's a true story. Likewise, I thought I found someone to create them in early summer 2021, like a year ago. We worked out a pay plan and work schedule. By September, the guy flicked on me, and I haven't heard from him since. Horrible. Yet, this caused me to really take a look at the entire book idea, to really examine it and figure out what the goal is. What I decided was that the books were absolutely worth doing, but not by me and not by someone else being overseen by me. Why? Really, to be frank, they're just too much work that way. They're excellent quality. They are needed. I still believe the books are a great idea, but I have to be involved in the creation of them. But if I have to be involved in the creation of them, the idea quickly sours. This is just an example, by the way, and I will get back to the live show shortly. But regarding the books, I'm not saying they'll never get done. They will. However, my goal is to find a literary agent who can then find a publisher to put all of Unfound's disappearances into a series itself. Yes, I will get a much smaller cut of the money being made from them, but at this point, that is not even a concern. I simply want them done, but I don't have the time or energy to do them in a high-quality way. This is the exact reason you don't hear me talk about the books during the podcast anymore. In fact, I've removed them from Amazon. Bringing this back to the live show has gotten a bit stale. In 2017, it was revolutionary. Now, although it is still spectacular, it now feels like it is part of the old Unfound, like the pre-2020 Unfound, and not the new Unfound of 2022. I began to feel like its placement on Wednesday nights kind of got in the way of my workflow for the Friday episodes. Really, I have to stop whatever I am doing on Wednesdays to write the live outline, which usually takes about 90 minutes. Then on top of that, I would have to do the show, which usually goes 2 hours. And this was despite sometimes the fact that the Friday episode still wasn't done. And it grew to worry me. Also, the live show, despite it being one of a kind, etc., has never been much of a moneymaker for Unfound. Yes, all of you Super Chat people, thank you for the donations. Thank you. You're all very generous. Thank you. However, a majority of the money generated from the YouTube channel comes from the ads that run in the videos posted there. Unfound Now, the Friday episodes, map analysis, and the live show when it plays as a rerun, not when it plays live. Thinking about all this, I came to a fix that would satisfy the problems the live show started to have somewhere around 2020. First, the live show is moving to Monday nights. This moves it out of the way of the workflow for the Friday episodes. Yes, I don't care about Monday Night Football or anything big that might play on Monday nights. If people care about the live show, they'll make the time. So starting next week, the live show will play at 9 p.m. Eastern on Mondays. That's June 6th. However, despite the move, there is the issue of the live show being an inefficient process and that a lot of time is put into it, but from a business standpoint, it hasn't done much. Thus, the other change is that the live show will become its own podcast starting June 7th. Meaning, the live show with me as the host will play on Monday nights on YouTube, video and audio. Then when the show is over, I will download the file to my MacBook Pro and separate the audio from the video. Then on Tuesday morning, for all the thousands of Unfound subscribers out there on Spotify, iTunes, Stitcher, wherever, they will get the live show on the same audio podcast feed they get the Friday episodes. What this will allow me to do is monetize the live show just like has happened over the past 3 months with the Friday podcast. This will then fix the inefficiency that has been inherent to the live show for a while. This is just the way I have to start thinking about things. Because I now have 2 different production companies wanting to sign me up for contracts to work on TV shows regarding the Steve Pankey trial. I have companies contacting me personally wanting to advertise on the podcast, a drink company, for example. Not to mention, and probably most importantly, I'm getting more and more involved in the disappearances we cover on Unfound. It's not just take my notes and interview the guest anymore. Now I'm trying to track people down. I'm trying to get more points of view. I'm checking into a lot more of what the family members tell me. So I have to best judge how to use my time. And the live show is certainly a great use of my time. It is furthering the goal of keeping Unfound alive for years and years and years. And I've just kind of felt like it has hurt the aerodynamics of Unfound for a while. But that will all change next Monday. Probably the best part, all those people who have not made time for Unfound over the past 4.5 years now will not get to experience it one way or another because it will be in their podcast feed every Tuesday morning. This should cause more people to want to tune in to actually hear it live on Monday nights instead of waiting for the Tuesday mornings. That will be a huge positive, I believe. Next topic for this newsletter. Another death in the Unfound family. I am very saddened to announce the death of Tanya Washburn. She appeared on Unfound in the spring of 2020 to talk about the disappearance of her half-sister, April Andrews. I will admit that I did not have a lot of interaction with Tanya after she appeared, so I didn't know that she was having health problems. She succumbed to cancer on May 17th, 2022. This is the 6th death of an Unfound guest. The other 5 are Jessica Curtis, sister of Tyler Stice, Donna Jean Kapp, sister of Dory Ann Myers, Janice Norwood, mother of Kim Norwood, Vicki Wilkerson, mother of Jennifer Wilkerson, Katie Lancaster, sister-in-law of Megan Lancaster. All of them, including Tanya, appeared on the podcast. Although all of them, including Tanya, appeared on the podcast, I would not say I knew any of them well. Likewise, I never met any of them in person. However, I have to tell you that these deaths hurt every time. Every single time. I'm man enough to admit some tears were shed by myself for all 6. The pain mainly comes from feeling like I failed them. The goal for every one of them was to find what happened in those disappearances, and that goal was not reached. And I feel at least partly responsible for that. Yes, I'm not an investigator out there in Texas or Arkansas or wherever all those disappearances happened, but I am an expert now. I know a lot, and I would say I'm decently intelligent too. Still, those disappearances are unresolved. On top of that, I think in all of them, except Tyler's, foul play certainly occurred, although Jessica believed Tyler had been murdered. So on top of the disappearance being unsolved, partly my fault, there's the belief that killers of these people still walk the streets, a double whammy. I just feel like these 6 entrusted me, and I might not have lived up to my side of the deal. In addition, I know this isn't the last death announcement I will make. Unfound is going to be around for a while. It now has about 270 guests. Many in the upcoming years will pass. I will shed tears for those people as well. Next topic, YouTube. Unfound passed 2 huge milestones on its channel during May 2022. Weirdly, we did it on just about the same day, May 24th, 2022. What were those goals? Or those milestones? First, maybe most importantly, the Unfound podcast channel passed 14,000 subscribers. Yes, I know that's nothing compared to Lord Narts or some other true crime channels. However, you have to remember that YouTube is a secondary outlet for Unfound. Yes, I use it for the live show, for map analysis, for Unfound now, and even the episodes get played there. But, as I wrote above, all of those orbit around the center of the Unfound universe, the Friday podcast. Without it, I'm a Walmart greeter. So for an audio podcast to have 14,000 subscribers on YouTube is a big deal, no matter what genre of podcast it is. My belief is also that with the live show becoming a podcast, the subscriber numbers will continue to increase at an even faster rate. Second and last, the YouTube channel went over 2 million views. To me, this is another incredible milestone for a true crime program that is not YouTube-based. Granted, the channel has a lot of videos on it, so I guess we were due to go over 2 million eventually. But really, when I started the channel sometime in early 2018, there's no way I could have anticipated 14,000 subscribers and 2 million views. No way. Heck, at the time, I had only produced maybe 60 episodes. There were probably only 1,000 members in the discussion group. The podcast itself was probably only getting 10,000 downloads a month or something. Probably not even that many. So I'm grateful. Never could I have imagined any of it, but I believe the best is still yet to come. Next topic, that TV show. I've mentioned a couple of times on the live show since January that a UK, United Kingdom TV production company contacted me about doing a series on the murder of Janelle Matthews and the ensuing trial or trials of Steve Pankey. In addition, I have an exclusive contract with them concerning anything having to do with the work I've done on Janelle's murder. Well, it's looking to me like the series, at least a pilot, you can look that up, is going to happen. I had a recent conversation with the producer who first reached out to me in January, and he has said things are looking very positive. And I'm due to talk to him next week about the progress being made. The funny and coincidental part, about 3 weeks ago, I had another UK-based production company contact me about the same exact topic, Janelle's murder. Because I keep my word and my contracts, I had to turn them down. However, I suppose if my work with any other company gets completed and this more recent one is still putting something together, maybe I'll have a chance to do both. Maybe. What will this in-progress production mean for me? What will be my job be? What role will I play? I have to say I'm not really sure. In whatever way they think I can help, that's what I'll do. But personally, I certainly would like to appear on camera. Remember, I was an actor at one time. Of course, I do the live show, and now the podcast is in video too. And I would like to have a hand in planning out the series of episodes. I think the plan is to have at least 5 in the series. I, of course, have a lot of experience writing scripts too. While I'm thinking about it, I would also have to wonder if I might get a chance to go to England for the first time. I'm sure they'll be going to Greeley, Colorado for some of the work. Of course, I've already been there once. But will it all be done in the U.S.? I doubt it. Hey, a kid can dream, right? Whatever the situation, I'm happy to be taking part. And yes, there will be some pay. Not sure what that will be at this point, though. But everything is moving in a positive direction regarding this Janelle Matthews series. Updates. Yes, I know. I just did the update episode a month ago, but right after it came out, there was more news. I will quickly go through them. Zoe Campos. Carlos Rodriguez will go on trial August 14th for her murder. Tom Brown. More vandalism of signs in Canadian Texas. Paul Sanders remains being checked to see if they are his. Work is being done by one of my assistants and a longtime listener. Audrey Herron. 3 sites searched during May of 2022. Nothing found. Angela Green. Police giving his investigation another chance. I'm not sure Angela's husband has agreed to talk to police, though. Lindsay Shobalok. That was the Unfound Now episode from March. Hunters found her remains not too far from where her car was. I do not believe that foul play is a factor. One more thing. Yes, I just accessed my inner Columbo. Anyway, on a recent live show, I went off on the topic of wood chippers and hogs. I hear so much about these two things as pertaining to disappearances that I just had to talk about it. As in, I heard my son was put in a wood chipper. I heard my daughter was fed to hogs. In a nutshell, all of this stuff is crap. If you'd like to hear my entire logical reasoning and why I reject those theories, please check out the live show from May 25th, 2022 on the Unfound YouTube channel. That's all for this newsletter for June of 2022. You'll see the next one on July 1st of 2022. Thanks for reading. Thanks for the support. I could not be doing this without all of you. Thanks.